President Trump will make his first public appearance since leaving the hospital for coronavirus treatment. At 2 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Trump will hold an in-person event at the White House where he is expected to speak about law and order. The White House says hundreds of people are expected on the South Lawn. Today's event comes exactly 2 weeks after a crowded ceremony there to nominate Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, an event that has been called a potential super spreader event. We've also learned the next presidential debate has been canceled after the commission made the debate virtual because of concerns over the president's health. Mr. Trump refused to participate if it was virtual. Our Chip Reid reports on what we can expect to see from the president today.
I feel really good. I feel very strong.
In an interview on Fox News Friday night, President Trump said he had completed his course of COVID therapeutics and described his early symptoms as mild.
It didn't feel strong, didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have. I had none of that. But I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel. And I knew there was something a little bit off.
But earlier in the day, the president told Rush Limbaugh he was so sick last week, he thought he might not make it.
This looks like it was going to be a big deal. And you know what that means, right? That means bad.
The president says he recovered quickly because he had immediate access to the doctors and the treatments.
We have the White House doctor who's great, and you have so many great doctors. So it's a lot easier for me than somebody that's, doesn't have access to a doctor so easily, where it's a big deal to see a doctor.
The president insists he's good to go, but the White House has yet to disclose if he has tested negative for the virus, which would indicate he's no longer contagious. While campaigning in Nevada on Friday, former Vice President Joe Biden called the president's behavior reckless.
His reckless personal conduct since his diagnosis, the destabilizing effect it's having on our government, is unconscionable. He didn't take the necessary precautions to protect himself or others.
When asked about Mr. Trump's planned return to the campaign trail, the Democratic nominee said this.
Good luck. I'd make sure I wouldn't show up unless you had a mask and were distanced.
For more on all of this, I want to bring in CBS News national correspondent Chip Reid from the White House. Chip, why is the White House holding this event today when the event just 2 weeks ago to nominate Amy Coney Barrett is being called by many a super spreader event? And people calling it that include experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci. So why is the president doing this at the White House so soon after being diagnosed?
Well, that is a very good question, and it is a question that some advisors in the White House are asking, too. They're very concerned about this, but the president has decided to push all that aside and go ahead. He wants to get back to normal. They're calling this a protest, a peaceful protest for law and order. They just started playing the patriotic music that I can hear on the other side of the White House to make it sound like it's a substantive event rather than simply a political rally. But I think it will be a political rally. Everybody who's been invited is a conservative activist of one stripe or another. But it is a mystery to a lot of people why he would push ahead at this dangerous time with an event like this. But it's simply his burning desire to get back to normal, to have rallies, and to pretend that COVID, if it even exists anymore in his mind, as he told Rush Limbaugh yesterday, people are going to get better immediately like I did, which of course contradicts what he just said in the package there. He said it's not as easy for other people as it is for him, and the treatment he got was massively expensive. One estimate is $100,000 or more. So it's really a mystery why he's going ahead with this.
Yeah, certainly not the case that the average American is getting the same medical treatment as the president of the United States. Chip, I want to ask you about what this event is called, the peaceful protest for law and order. I think that for many that strikes people as a little bit of a contradiction of sorts to go to the White House, the residence of the head of government, to protest. Usually, when protests are in opposition to the authority figures, but here's the president having all these people come to his home to protest in favor of law and order. Tell us what this event even means, what this is about, and in what way way is this? You mentioned that this is supposed to not be a campaign event. Remind our viewers why that's important.
Well, it may be important simply because there was such a controversy over whether he could do political events like the convention here. It didn't seem to bother them then. But I think one thing he wants to drive home is this idea that when his supporters have a protest, it's peaceful. When the other side has protests, they are not peaceful. But what I think this really is what we've seen so many times before. Even when he has had rallies that have a theme, it doesn't dictate what he's going to talk about. He simply talks about whatever he wants to talk about. And I think the betting is pretty good that that's what he's going to do here today. And it will have the feel of a political rally.
All right, talk to us a little bit more about the coronavirus. Have we received assurances from President Trump's doctor that neither he nor others at the White House, because we know so many have become infected, that none of them are still contagious? Have we gotten that confirmation of a negative COVID test? And what additional precautions are being taken, not only to safeguard the public, members of the public who have been invited to attend this event, but also the staff there at the White House?
Yeah, well, there really isn't much. They say that the people who are coming here today are being required to bring a mask, and they're being instructed to use it, but there's no word about social distancing. So the likelihood is we're going to see people crowding together, and if history is any guide, a lot of them will not be wearing masks. The president is going to be up on the balcony. You can see that picture there taking the mask off. It's certainly unlikely that he will be wearing a mask. Will he come down into the crowd? They haven't said anything about that, but it's been hard getting any information out of the White House about how they are going to protect people here. Just wearing a mask and being packed together where some people are not wearing masks is not a very safe situation.
Yeah. All right. Last question for you, Chip. Let's talk about the president's expected travel. He's planning to go to Florida on Monday for his first campaign rally since being diagnosed with the coronavirus. What more can you tell our viewers about this?
Well, they haven't told us a lot about it. We do know that it's going to be in an airplane hangar. It's going to be a large number of people. There has been no word about requiring people to wear masks or social distance or any other precaution. He wants everything to go back to the way it used to be, apparently. He believes he has been cured, and he believes other people can be cured quickly, which of course, the experts say is not possible anytime in the near future or even the semi-distant future. So he just wants to get back to normal, and that's it. And a lot of staff members have expressed concerns to him about this, and he just brushes it aside and plows ahead.
All right, Chip Reid at the White House. Thank you.
You bet.